Would you start off by saying hello?
Hello there. How are you guys tonight? We are happy to be here with you. And we're going to start off with the song we were going to finish with last week because it got cut off with the bad weather or whatever. We don't know. It says we're getting a bad signal again tonight. Some weeks it says that and it does fine. So we'll just have to see, won't we?
Probably ought to give a little introduction for those that didn't tune in last week.
Okay. We went on and on about this song last week, and so I don't want to do that again. But this is a song we wrote especially for some friends of ours who were pastors of our home church in San Diego for a long time. And during that time in Father's Day of 1991, and it's just coming up to Father's Day here pretty soon here. They lost their son Jonathan, and it was a tough time for them, especially, but for all of us. And so we wrote a song. Jim's working on the lights, getting rid of the cats, doing different stuff. So, so anyway, this is a song for Jonathan that we wrote for him for his service, and we have had lots of fun times and good memories with our friends the McCoys. And so tonight, this song especially is especially for them. And I will start it now.
Oh, I didn't do the light. It's really glary.
Too bright?
Yeah, I don't know how to change that at this point. Oh, good evening. We're as always, we're roaring, ready to go. Here, we've been ready for hours. Just go ahead.
It just doesn't matter.
It's too late now.
Like John the Baptist preaching in the Holy Land, you brought us all a message from the Father's hand. And now the Lord must come to help us understand. Little one, Jonathon, while you fly into the arms of the Father and you play happily there at his feet, instead of me waiting for you like I thought I would do, you'll be waiting for me. From the mouths of babes he perfects his praise. With childlike heart I come to learn the Father's ways. But when the work that I must do is finally done, little one, Jonathon, I will fly into the arms of the Father and we'll play happily there at his feet, instead of me waiting for you like I thought I would do. I will fly into the arms of the Father and we'll play happily there at his feet. And everything I just knew I'd be teaching you, you'll be teaching me. Instead of me waiting for you, you'll be waiting for me.
Okay.
There you go.
Hold on.
That's Jonathan.
Yeah. Can you?
Get the cat?
Yes.
I will. Okay. Come in, kitty. He's not coming to me.
Come here. Tanner, come here. Hey.
Okay, now we're chasing cats during our show. Oh. Woo, there he goes. I
Okay.
got him.
Highly trained, polished professional.
We're being demonized.
Oh my gosh.
And that one's for you, Tim. The catastrophe.
Say a little something while I make sure I'm in tune here.
Jim is going to be tuning because he cares for you and your ears. When we're thinking about the show this week, I've been wanting him for a long time to do some of the instrumentals. He's got some instrumental originals that I really like, but we've
But not-
also been
but not tonight.
influenced. But not tonight.
No,
Not tonight.
I don't have
Okay.
any of the original ones on there.
But
No
we've
time, no
both
time.
we've both been highly influenced by rock instrumentals and what we call lights out jazz. I never realized I liked instrumentals so much until a little later on when I started listening to them. Truth be told, if you really want to know something about me that most people don't know, is even though I'm sometimes a singer, even though we are professional musicians, I actually prefer silence to anything. And one of the reasons why, and this is the only way I can describe it, is that in the silence I can hear things that I can't hear when lots of stuff is going on. If there's a TV going, if there's music playing, there's not only a still small voice, but there's often music happening inside on what I might say is a subliminal level. And the only way you're going to get rid of him is by closing the
Yeah,
door.
but he's in now.
Well,
Keep talking.
well, he's the star of the show.
No, he's not the star of the show. He's a troublemaker. He's showing up all day and now he's in here.
Oh gosh. And so so I really like silence, but the next best thing to silence for me is instrumentals, because the instrumentals do not compete.
Say hello.
Meow. That's Tanner, by the way. Blaze is somewhere being nice and calm and good, and Tanner is terrorizing as usual. So,
I hope the network bosses don't watch this.
yeah. Think we're going to get a good show?
We're going to get fired.
Oh. But besides silence, the thing I like best is instrumentals, because they are so emotional and so inspiring, and yet they leave room for some, they insinuate lyrics in my mind and heart. And to me, they're the epitome of worship tunes, the instrumentals. And so we're going to do some instrumentals for you tonight. I think Jim will probably tell you a little bit more later. But this one is called...
This one's called Apache, and I will perhaps talk a little bit more. We're already... we're so off schedule already.
We're only 9 minutes in.
Yeah, and we've done one song, but hopefully the cat won't be smart enough to go around and come in through the bathroom.
We'll find out how smart he is.
Yeah. So this first one is called Apache, and we'll just do it, and then I'll talk later. This is my arrangement here. I just realized that when you're doing instrumentals, it's kind of like, when you have to stand in front of a microphone and you don't know what to do with your hands.
Yeah.
Well, it's kind of like when I'm playing, I don't know what to do with my face. I don't know. What do I do? Do I look at the camera? Do I look at the microphone? Do I look at, I figure if I sort of look at the guitar, at least it looks like I'm interested in what I'm doing. But it's we're usually don't do the instrumentals unless we're like in restaurants or places where people aren't paying much attention, and I just sit over in the corner and play instrumentals because they don't really care what we're doing.
When you're playing in a band and someone does a lead,
Yeah, well,
it's really you're supposed to look at them. And
yeah, I don't know. I don't know what you're supposed to do. I don't know what to do when I'm playing instrumentals. I'm sure I've talked before about how I wanted to play guitar since I was very, very young, as young as I can remember pretty much. And when I finally was able to get a guitar, this was part of the deal, was playing rock instrumentals. And me and my friends, there'd usually be two or three of us that would get together. And this is one of the things we would do. We'd figure out the chords for a song, and then the other guy would try to play the lead. And then we'd switch over, and then he'd play the chords and I'd play the lead. And actually, the truth is, when I started playing guitar, I figured out pretty quickly that I was not really ever going to be a lead guitarist. I didn't have it. So I still did it. I still played songs and stuff, but there was so many in the 60s. There were so much interest in music because of the Beatles and the whole British invasion thing. There were just lots of guitar players in my neighborhood in the Paradise Hills where I lived, and there was plenty that were much better than me. So I resigned myself to saying, well, I'm just going to be a rhythm guitarist, and that'll be all right. I had the same thing with singing. I used to love to sing at home, and then when I started singing in bands, we always had somebody who was the lead singer, and I realized, okay, I'm going to be the harmony guy, which didn't bother me as much because I enjoy singing harmonies. I like that. But with Bongo and the Point and with Jim and Dee, I don't have anyone else to play, and I don't have anyone else to sing the leads except for when it's her songs. So and then to add to that, about let's see, what years? I guess it was in January of 2013. I was doing some woodworking, and I had a piece of oak kicked back on a table saw, and it smashed these three fingers right here, and they're still kind of crooked and twisted and all kinds of stuff. And I actually didn't know if I was going to play the guitar again, and so I started trying to come up with other options. I figured even though these fingers were mashed up, I could still do this and hold a pick, so I thought maybe I'd learn to play left-handed. I considered that, learn to play left-handed. And then I took one of my acoustic guitars and just did like an open tuning on it and got a slide, and I started trying to practice slide guitar. And that's
played bass for a while.
Well, I was going to say that. When I started playing slide guitar, I realized it was really hard because I've never really developed my right hand techniques because I'm not much of a finger picker. So I tried that, and we did a few things with the slide guitar, and then basically I did switch to the bass, because even though you do play the bass sort of similar, because these fingers wouldn't bend, I was still able to just go like this, and I I could press down and play one note at a time on the bass, and so I did that for about 6 months. It was good in one sense because before I never could play bass and sing at the same time, so I had to learn to play and sing at the same time, and then. It took me about 2.5 years to get these fingers rehabbed, and they're still not right. Like normally you can make a fist, although of course I can't make a fist because this hand has this finger that got broken. See, that one doesn't straighten out or do anything. This finger got broken many years ago, and so I got 3 fingers that work good on this hand, and then on this hand I've got the pinky work. Okay, this one the pinky doesn't work. This one the pinky does work.
Okay, there you go.
And so between the 2 hands I got 4 good fingers, and. Now this one did pretty good. This one will almost, I mean, you can do this with your regular hand. This one will almost go closed. This one not very much, and this one maybe a little more than this one. So I got still 2 fingers that hardly work and one that's pretty good. So that makes it even harder. And so anybody looking for a gig as a lead guitarist, let me know. And maybe
it pays real good.
Yeah. Pays just as much as we're making for this show. But I really did enjoy that. I did end up playing pretty much rhythm guitar in just about every band I've been in except for Bongo and the Point. But the funny thing about these songs is there was a lot of instrumentals, and it was for me particularly it was what is known as surfing instrumentals, the real hardcore surf music. And actually all the Beach Boys did was take surf music and add surf lyrics, and they came up with another thing that most people think of when they think of surf music. But songs were all pretty much, they were guitar driven. Usually there'd be, so a lot of them would have maybe an electric piano. They'd have like a little Wurlitzer electric piano. A few would have saxophones, but it was mostly all guitar driven stuff. And it's funny because there were a lot of groups that had more than one hit as instrumental groups. Probably the biggest one was the Ventures. The Ventures, they did Walk Don't Run, and they did Hawaii Five-0 and Slaughter on 10th Avenue. They had quite a few, and they actually continued through the British invasion. They continued after that. Internationally, they were very popular in Japan, and they were actually a very good live band. They sound just like their records. But most of the songs were from like one-hit wonders. Like Apache was a song that I didn't really know where that came from. It was I can't even say the guy's name who had the hit in America. It was one guy playing not just an acoustic, but a nylon string classical guitar overdubbed and did it all by himself. And I found years later that it was actually first done by the Shadows, which was a instrumental band from England. They backed up Cliff Richards, but they also they had their own act as well, where they did instrumental stuff. They're still playing. The song I'm going to do next is called Pipeline, and that one was by a band called the Shantays, and there was a lot of one-hit wonders in the instrumental thing, and that was kind of a strange thing. That I don't know how you get a hit with an instrumental. Just for some reason, somebody plays it and people like it, or they don't. And but the odd thing about the instrumentals was they ended up being covered by everyone. Everyone covered everybody else's songs. Yeah. The Ventures did Pipeline, and the Shantays did Wipeout, and the Safaris did Wipeout, and everybody did. So you can find these songs out on YouTube now by all kinds of different bands. And so it's kind of neat because the songs were what was important. And I'll put a link to some of this. I'm trying to think. Yeah, there's a this won't mean anything to most of you younger people, but there's a one I'll put a link to of this. I think it's this one. Pretty sure it's this one, Pipeline, played by the Shantays, and they're performing on the Lawrence Welk Show. And no one in the two. And not many people remember Lawrence Welk, but he was how would you describe that music? It's, I guess, schmaltz is about the only word I can think of, and it was on every week. And but he had some
champagne and bubbly and
well, it was a very unusual,
glitzy, glittery,
with his funny little accent and everything. But so I'm gonna do a couple more, and the next one is gonna be this one, which is called Pipeline, referring to when
Surf.
surf. When the wave goes in, you go into this anyway. They're not always so obvious, but this one was. Always got to do that. Surf music, you got to do that. Got to do that.
I just love instrumentals.
Me too. They're not very popular anymore. We've seen that. Of course, Dee was talking about the light jazz and the lights out jazz we like to listen to. And there's not a single radio station where we live that plays that kind of music. And so we just have to buy CDs or stuff. And I do have some instrumentals of my own. I don't know what occasion I might have to play them, but
Because I asked nicely.
oh yeah, we haven't. I don't think we've ever done any of my instrumentals live. I just record them and stick them on a hard drive somewhere, and that's where they stay. So this next group, you'll be able, if you want to go online and find some surf, rock, and roll instrumentals. Look for the Ventures. The Ventures were the kings. They did this song right here that we're going to do is called Walk Don't Run, and it was probably around 1960 or 61. And then they actually redid the song in 64 when all the British invasion was happening and had a hit with the same song again. Re-recorded. It wasn't all that different. The only thing they did was they took that thing from Pipeline and put that in there. Stuck that in there. And and re-recorded the song. But this was one of the biggest rock instrumentals of all time. It's been covered by a lot of people. And there are people on YouTube trying to teach you how to play it. And I just want to tell you, if they tell you to play it like this, that's not right, because they're playing an A minor, G, F, E. No matter what the experts on YouTube tell you, I promise you, it's in A, not A minor. A minor isn't bad. It doesn't clash with the melody, but it's not the right chord.
It's just not correct.
That's right. It's not correct, and that matters to me. Sort of being in tune, and I'm not. But so I'll do Walk Don't Run, then we'll see what happens after that. See, these fingers don't bend. I can't always do those things. Maybe sometime I'll record those. Then I can just, if I make a mistake, I can just start over again. That's the good thing about recording. You just do it over and over until you get it right. Yeah, but see, they don't bend. It's hard. Sometimes I can't get my fingers for the ones where the strings are nearest to my hand.
It's a really nice shed, though.
Now they don't know what you're talking about. I guess you could tell that story if you want, but
Oh, well, just that what he was building when he almost destroyed his hand.
I just got it in my head one day.
I think I got it in your head.
Well, somehow it got in my head. And I thought we needed a shed to put some tools and different things in. And we didn't have any money, and we didn't have any materials. So we went around behind some of the stores, and we
Did an experiment.
grabbed a bunch of pallets, those wooden pallets that they stack stuff on at Lowe's and different things like that. We ran and just filled up the back of the truck with those and made a few trips and filled up a bunch of those. And then I went to a friend of mine, Donnie, who knows how to weld real good, and I told him how to build this thing for me. It's a pole with a little fork on the end so that I could put it down on the pallets and pop up the boards. So I popped up all the boards, and I thought, I'll see if I can build a pallet shed, build a shed out of pallets. And so I put out some concrete things, and I laid out first some full pallets. How many was it about? Maybe
12 on the floor.
12. So it was 3 by 4, I guess, whatever. 12 or 16. I laid a bunch of them like that. Then I took a bunch and I stood them on end, and I nailed those together around the thing and left a space for a door. And then on top I did another one, so it's two pallets high. And then I put pallets on the top. And then I start taking the thing apart, and those were full pallets. Then I start taking the pallets apart, and I would just take the boards and I would run them through my table saw. On one side I'd make a tongue, the other side I'd make a groove, so I could fit them together, and they would.
This is what it means to be devoted to excellence. He made his own tongue and groove out of pallets
and put together the shed. And I don't know, maybe tomorrow you can go take a picture of it or something, put it on the thing.
I have a picture of it.
Oh, you have a picture of it? You can put a picture of it. And so it took me quite a few weeks, and we did have to buy some 2x4s to brace some things and all that. But mostly we made it out of shed all out of pallets, and I paid the price for, well, I'm still paying the price with arthritis and fingers that won't bend. But that's all there was to that.
So there ought to be a law about woodworking guitar players.
No. I don't know. Tonight was, I have no idea. We didn't really accomplish anything tonight except what number is this? 21.
Is there another one?
No, that's it.
Okay.
Unless you want to find something, you can.
Well,
if you
no,
want to do something.
we're at 31 minutes right now.
Okay. Then to say good night and thank you.
And we got so spiritual tonight, didn't we?
Sorry.
Well, we did do Jonathon. We started off in it, and it was all downhill from there, except for
Jonathon.
Yeah. Well, bless you guys. Thank you for joining us on our goofy week number 21.
You have the track
two?
ball. 20. It's 20. 20.
It says 22, but it's
I think it's
actually
21.
21.
Yeah, no, I changed it to 21.
Okay.
I don't know how many I did. That's it. Thank
Good
you.
night, and we will see you next week.